For the past couple of weeks, we've been knocking out panfish videos targeting these big weed flats ranging anywhere from 6 to 14 feet of water. And we've been using a variety of techniques from a mini ultralight rocket bobber with a 64th ounce jig and a finesse plastic to just a 16th ounce jig and 2-inch power baits, along with slip bobber rigs. Well, what happened now is we're still in August, we're at the end of August, and a major cold front moved in. And so, you know, the fish are still in these flats, but the difference is that typically even with a slip bobber rig, where let's say the weeds were coming 4 feet off the bottom and I was in 8 feet of water, I'd set my stop up at 4 feet so that jig would drop and would hang just above the tips of the weeds. Well, with this cold front moving in, those fish are still there, but they've dropped down into the weeds. So I just have to change my technique a little bit. And so what I've done is I've set up my medium-sized bobber stop. It's an Easy Glide bobber stop from Tackle 2000. You can find them on our website at www.tackle2000. Anyway, I've set the stop up at about 7 feet now. So I'm actually going to let this jig drop right into the weeds itself. And then I'm using a Panfish Series rocket bobber set up as a slip bobber, a 16th ounce jig, and a 2-inch power tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast out, and this jig's just going to drop all the way until it gets to my stop. And when it gets to my stop, that bobber is going to stand vertical like this. Now, typically what will happen when a bluegill grabs it, let's say a gill grabs this thing, that bobber is going to just drop straight down this way. But if a crappie grabs it, the bobber is going to lay flat like this. That's the up bite. Those crappies a lot of times come up underneath it and grab it, and you'll see that bobber lay flat, and then you can set the hook. So let's see if we can pick up a couple of fish. Okay, there he is. Another nice gill. You know, gills are grabbing it. Boy, you really wanted it. You know, these rocket bobbers, average casting distance is 30 to 40 yards, so you can really cover water. I can cast way out and just kind of, there he is. Cast way out and just kind of work my bait back to the boat. Boy, these gills, they want to go right into the weeds. Yeah, he's in there. Might have to just let him work his way out. Here he comes. You know, even though this cold front moved in, it's just a matter of making a couple of adjustments. These fish haven't disappeared. It's just they dropped down a little bit. Yeah, nice little gill. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, that's a nice gill. And he is right smack in those weeds. Nice looking gill. Not a bad gill. Just going to cast it out. Let that jig drop. Now the jig's all the way down. Let it sit there in that strike zone. I'm just going to pull up and let it drop again. Ooh, there's a muskie right behind the bobber. Just came up. That's never good. There he is. Oh, he just grabbed it. I hope that muskie doesn't grab this gill. Well, he buried himself right in the weeds. It's a nice gill. There he comes. Yeah. In a clump of weeds. Nice looking gill. See how they bury themselves in those weeds? You know, a lot of times crappies, they'll do just the opposite. They'll come up. You've got to keep your rod tipped down, but with these gills, they like to drop right down. There he is. Another nice fish. This one's a crappie. I just seen that bobber lay down. He hit. Oh yeah. See, they want to stay up on the surface. He must have got a weed on him that he's not flopping. It's a nice crappie. So I'll tell you what, just because a cold front moves in doesn't mean those fish have disappeared. It's just a matter of making a few adjustments and you get a pretty good meal of fish. Now let's see if we can get another one.